Good morning. Horrible human beings. The chess episode. And it's probably jumping around. But the first thing I was thinking of was I heard that Megan Thee Stallion is going to be appearing with Kamala Harris at some rally. I know it wasn't a debate. And it made me think about the people we get to represent our messages or our platforms or whatever, and who they're aimed at. I'm thinking about Trump. Trump had Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan, and you got for Hulk Hogan to even resonate with you, you got to be of a certain age and a certain era, and know about Hulkamania when he used to rip them little tight ass T-shirts right off of him, and yeah, it's Hulkamania time and all of that. But for him to do that for Trump is definitely applying to a certain demographic and a certain generation. The same as using Meg Thee Stallion to promote your message is definitely aimed at a certain generational demographic. And I'm not sure if the thing is, on both ends it's pandering. So it's not that Trump and the Republicans is wrong and Democrats and Kamala is right. It never can be as easy as a two-party system. But more than who's representing them, a guy from who Zenith was in the 80s ripping his shirt off in fake wrestling, or a rap artist that's known for showing flaunting her assets, I guess we can say it like that. I don't think she's known for being bald. It'd be different if Kamala had went ahead and got Shay Noir or Rhapsody or somebody with substance, but she didn't. She went to somebody that has popularity, and a very specific popularity, which just goes to show what you think of the demographic that you're serving. You know what I mean? But more to the point, it made me think of Sonia Massey, and I hope I'm not mispronouncing her name, the young lady in Illinois who just recently, just last week, was shot by the two police when she called them, and it was publicized everywhere, and it was wrong. It was, matter of fact, watching that video, that body cam footage, was that was a real horror movie. That was I'm a grown man. That was terrifying. But just yesterday, it happened again, except it wasn't super publicized and it wasn't everywhere. The police were called to Fort Lee, New Jersey, for a woman having a mental health crisis. I believe she had a knife, but I had to really search to find, because I said, well, why they weren't releasing the woman's name, and they weren't releasing her identity and, of course, her ethnicity. So I was wondering. I had to search and look through videos, and then I found a mention. I think it was one of the news outlets, that towards the end, that the woman was of Asian descent. And so, as I'm putting it all together, and you still got to search for that. We're still talking about Massey's. It's not even a death. That's a murder. That's an execution. What happened in that apartment? But what it made me think of was, when you play chess, the first thing that they teach you is how the pieces move. And the most pieces that you have are the pawns. So the pawns are like cannon fodder. They don't really have any special moves, and they only attack one way. But you have more of them than any other piece. The pawns have the unique power that if they reach the other end of the board, they get to become any other piece they want. Any other piece stays that piece and has those attacking powers or defenses for the whole game. Only the pawn can choose, but it has to make it to the other side. Now, in order to you win the game of chess by trapping the king so he can't move. And you can do that a million ways, but the quickest and fastest way is generally the best way. But when you first learning, you start trying to take. I try to take this pawn. I try to take as many of the other guy's pieces so he don't have that many pieces to attack or move with. Whittle them all down so he got a couple pieces, or maybe just his king. Then I focus on trapping his king because you're a beginner. When you're really nice, you learn how to trap the king and leave all the other pieces on the board. But what's Lincoln, Meg the Stallion, Hulk Hogan, the young lady that was executed in Illinois, and the Asian lady who was murdered that I had to investigate to find out she was Asian. I was just wondering how the spin gets put on anything to get presented to us, whether it's the news, who the candidate is, what their theme is, what their platform is, but how it's fed to you. And is it ever as simple, is it ever as open and shut as they would have you believe? And my mother always used to tell me, if you don't want to think for yourself, somebody always will want to. Don't worry, it's somebody out here to do the thinking for you, and they prefer it that way. And sometimes that's the truth. And I specifically think of those incidents involving the police. Both of them are incendiary events, but I know one of them, public perception, especially in this time right now with these 90 days leading up to this election, for these 4 years, blah, 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 and it'll repeat in another 4 years, to race and racial bias. Race is a hot topic, but it can be used like a pawn too. And the same way you can set a gambit, or you can set up a trap to deflect attention from another move you're making. It's all of this is sitting around going through my head. And like I said, those executions was wrong and atrocities, no matter, flat out. But the way they're presented was definitely done. And there's another agenda behind it. And I would even think that the media is unbiased either way. The media is focused on itself. The media is focused on sensationalizing whatever. My God, if an alien come down in 2 hours with 3 heads and green skin, that'll be everywhere. Or maybe it won't. Who knows? But that's how I liken all of that to chess. So sometimes when I'm looking at things, or I'm assessing the world and everything under my purview, I'm looking at it like, yo, am I chasing pawns, or am I looking at the big picture and making a strategy, especially when I'm making moves for my own self and my towards my life and my ambitions, and the bigger picture for me personally. Because you can spend a lot of time chasing pawns and lose the game, and you can have a stalemate in chess where neither side wins. Well, if nobody wins, then that means that everybody loses. And a stalemate also means that we stuck. So if you're stuck in life, that's just another way of losing. I definitely want to send a big salute out to the big homeboy Mike Lee. Thank you for supporting, brother. I wanted really so bad to give you a humorous, horrible human beings episode, but the notion and the aspect of the whole theme of chess and how we surveying the world came in. So I generally just go on how I feel. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we do an origin about how and why it's titled Horrible Human Beings. But for today, Horrible Human Beings, the chess episode, aka Hulk Hogan ripping that tiny ass shirt off for Trump, and Meg the Stallion staking her ass for Kamala. The episode. Be safe.